Hello. Um, I
Yeah, so once
okay.
again, I come your way with another episode of People Who Inspire. I'm excited to have Daniel today as my guest. Daniel, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Prince. How are you doing?
I'm also doing very well. Today, we are going to
Brilliant.
delve a bit deeper into the behind the scenes activities that one of the most amazing, I call him trailblazers within the space of fashion and really manufacturing in Ghana. And we are going to understand his journey as we usually do every Saturday to really talk about the non-documented stuff that a lot of these young entrepreneurs go through,
Mm-hmm.
the various struggles as well as the triumphs that come along the way. My guest today is Daniel Odonkor. He's the CEO as well as the creative director for Chaste Shoes Ltd. And I wear his product, I buy his product actually. So I'm very much used to the quality of his product as well as the fashion statements that his products really come along with. Daniel, welcome to People Who Inspire once again. And how is your weekend going?
Thank you. My weekend is been calm. Um, I work on the weekend, so I'm I'm still working. Even as we speak. Um, I'm just outside my workspace, just in my car,
Wow,
and yeah,
life of an entrepreneur.
great to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, there are no breaks, as they say. It's like you're always, you have to
Nah,
be
not at
on
all.
your game. Yeah.
Not at all.
Wow. And I think that the last time I visited your workplace, I visited your
Yeah.
shop. I mean, I was very much impressed with the fact that, I mean, you have a very, let's say, humble beginning where you're trying to build with the things that you have. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember you mentioned, a few constraints here and there, but you're still, pushing and going forward. And before we get to
Yeah.
Chaste, right? Can you tell me, and I mean, our viewers, a little bit about yourself. Where were you born, and where did you grow up? Just walk us through, those key milestones. So, how you grew up, how it
Yeah.
was growing up, and yeah, and then just to know a little bit about you.
Okay. Um, I'm born into a family of five. I've got two other siblings, mom and dad. I was born in Tema. I grew up in a church home, I would say. Um, I did my elementary school, that's my basic school, in St. Paul Methodist, is in Tema. So from there, I went to the Eastern region. I went to Soon Secondary Technical. Because growing up, I just told my dad that I wanted to do something um, handy, something technical related. So I went to Soon Secondary Technical. I did a bit of science and a bit of tech. So from there, I went to KNUST, um, hoping that I could study architecture, but I ended up in a construction class. Um, so I did 4 years in tech, and you know, whilst I was in tech, I set up a business. I started trading even before I started a business. So from tech, I started building my business onto a point where I decided to further my education. Um, that is, a brief of
Yeah,
how far I've come.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
on this journey.
Yeah. I mean, I'm quite interested. I mean, we'll come to the point where someone who studied construction management gets into manufacturing and of shoes and into the fashion industry. But before then, I like to know. I mean, I know that whilst you're in KNUST, you won the entrepreneurship.
Sorry, 1 second.
Okay. Yes, I think it's better now,
Hello?
right? Or yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I
Sorry.
was saying that I
Sorry
think
about
when
that.
you're in KNUST, I know you won this entrepreneurship award. So my guess is your
Yeah.
entrepreneurship journey began in KNUST. Can you tell us a little bit about, I mean, at what point did you realize that, okay, look, I need to be an entrepreneur or I need to, like kind of do something for myself?
Okay. So my entrepreneurship journey for myself, I believe, started in KNUST. But prior to that, my mom is a trader. So I used to help my mom a lot, you know, in her store because she was selling, basic commodities. In fact, my first experience to business was through my mother. So in KNUST, I I think when I was in my third year, I
Mm-hmm.
realized that I wasn't really passionate about what I was studying. Um, because initially I wanted to become an architect, but
Mm-hmm.
my grades couldn't get me into the architecture class.
Mm-hmm.
So I was offered construction management, and in my third year, I mean, I was doing okay. I wasn't in the top five in the class. I wasn't in the bottom 10 even. I
Mm-hmm.
was somewhere. I was trying to sail through. But I think in my third year I realized that no, I'm actually passionate about trading or doing business. Selling or so I actually set up an event organization with my roommates and two other friends. We started it 1 month into it. I realized that it wasn't for me. So I remember I resigned. They were so pissed, but I was still soul search. I believe that period was like a soul searching for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started printing T-shirts and I was selling them in church.
Oh, wow.
Because I just knew that I can do something and do it better and make money from it. You know, this was when I was in third year. So sometimes, even though I was a construction student, you see me hang out with the um, graphic communication guys. So I had friends, who were in the graphic communication class,
Mm-hmm.
um, that was, doing photography, graphic design, and all of that. Because, I was working with them. And then I saw the opportunity for the shoes. So, I mean, as an entrepreneur, yours is to spot opportunities or, spot loopholes and create, value out of it. So when I
Mm-hmm.
saw it, I was like, this is it. Then I
Wow.
just ran with it. That was it. Yeah.
Wow, wow. That's interesting. I think we share a similar, very similar, let's say, journey into this space because
Mm.
I too studied building technology. I mean, yeah, and
Oh,
I think
interesting.
yes, I did BT
I,
for my first degree.
wow. I thought
Yep.
I thought I thought you did science.
Yes, I also did technical like you at Infantsfim. So I also did
Oh,
physics,
oh,
selective math,
I see.
yeah, building construction and technical
Oh,
drawing. And then, but I chose
oh,
BT
interesting.
like for my first choice, and yeah. And when I did
Mm-hmm.
BT, just like yourself, um, I I also
Mm-hmm.
started a multimedia company during my second year, I think. We also print. I was also printing T-shirts. My company actually
Wow.
designed, uh, did a rebranding for the geomatic engineering department. So you see now they have the shirt with a globe by the side. It was my company that first did that for them. We printed, I think,
Wow.
500. Yeah. And then we designed the Indies at 50 website back then as well. We got that contract. And then we are doing
Okay.
T-shirts with inspirational messages.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes. So,
Wow.
yeah,
So similar. So similar to mine. Because
exactly.
I also did shirts for the SRC. I think that was my
Ah,
first ever contract. I did
wow.
shirts for the SRC. I did shirts for I was also doing like Christian inscribed
Yeah.
shirts. I did shirts for what's it? One of the one of the churches. One of the churches.
Okay.
I did shirts for
Mm.
them. Yeah. But
Wow.
whilst I was doing the shirts, I realized that, as a businessman, I just realized that the profit margin for the shirts, unless you have a contract, is very minimal.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was like, let me just focus where people, are paying attention to. That was the shoes. So what I did was I told myself that 5 years down the line, my mates are going to be comfortable.
Mm.
Like they should be comfortable, and I should ensure that I knock my business into their heads before I leave school.
Mm. Mm.
So when I was in my final year, that was my aim. I tried everything possible. When I close from class, I go straight to the shoe factory. I
Mm.
did everything possible to ensure that at least my mates knew who Chaste was. And to be honest, KNUST, I mean, it was from KNUST that a lot of people got to know about Chaste.
Mm.
And it was through word of mouth. And
Mm.
personally, I'm a I'm a very reserved person. So
Yeah.
right from the beginning, I told myself that I would ensure that my products are good so that they
Mm-hmm.
can market themselves for me. Because I mean, I can't speak to 50 people at the same time, but
Yeah.
I can ensure that I put a good product out there, and through the product's lifespan, a number of people will see it. And it shouldn't tell you this is made in Ghana. You're definitely going to ask who did it or who made it. So that was my master plan.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it worked. It worked. I think in the second semester, um, it was Tratec, so where
Yes, traffic.
all the
Yeah.
departments come together, and showcase what they produce. I
Mm-hmm.
paid for a stand for myself to showcase my shoes and my clothes,
Mm.
and that was when the SRC really saw what I could do, and I was
Mm.
given that award, best student
Wow.
entrepreneur. And that award, when I received that award, I told myself that, listen, you have something to prove, because if the student body believes that you are a best student entrepreneur, you can't
Mm-hmm.
go and sleep. You have to
Mm-hmm.
make sure this thing works. So when I left KNUST was a smaller community. When I left KNUST, I came to Accra to do my national service. I did my national service with my uncle. He had a microfinance then.
Mm.
So I was a loan officer. So I was going
Mm.
out, to give give out loans, go and
Mm-hmm.
take loan repayments and all of that. I did that for a year, but whilst I was doing my national service, I was still running the business, um, because Accra is too big. I mean, on when I was in Kenya, see, I thought I could conquer Kenya, but I came to Accra and I realized that
The reality
I
of
came to
life.
Accra. Yeah, I realized the reality of life, and I realized that it's a big community, and I saw a lot of. I came, to the realization of a lot of challenges that I had in business. So while I was doing my national service, when I received my allowance, I go and buy something because I realized that I couldn't be going all the way to Kumasi every time,
Yeah.
and the challenges. Sometimes I would go to work Monday to Friday. Friday, when I close from work, I go all the way to VIP in a in Circle, board the bus, travel all the way to Kumasi. Sometimes sleep on the bus for
Mm-hmm.
so that I can go and see my shoemakers the next day. And I did this for an entire year, and it was a
Wow.
daunting task. There were times I was exhausted. So right after my national service, I was like, you know what? I'm not working for anybody. I would make
Mm-hmm.
sure I make this thing work. I was 24 at the time. I told myself I'm giving myself the next 4 years. If this thing doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work, that's it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's very little that I can lose. I don't have a wife. I don't have a child. I'm still
Yeah.
living in my my parents' home.
Yeah.
So I'm giving myself 4 years. I'm going all out. And if it doesn't work, I'll go and find a job. Um, so when I receive my allowance, I buy a small machine, or
Mm-hmm.
I buy things on credit. Make sure that my whole aim was to set up a factory, at, at least a small factory here in Accra.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
My customers were students before. Now, when I came to Accra, you are dealing with different sets of people. Marketing to them is different because in Kenya, you
Yeah.
can just do one banner in front of one hall,
Yes.
and everybody will at least see you, or even advertise on
Yeah.
the screens and people will see you. But Accra is different.
Exactly.
Um, you can't even pay for radio airtime. Like how much do you
Exactly.
have? So when I started, I so when I was doing that, I decided to launch the business because I was like, this is a do or die thing. It's now or never. Like just do it, and if it fails, it fails.
Yeah.
So that was the risk I took. Um, at a point, it was a bit difficult because I was just living on the business. I sell the shoe, I'll spend the money,
Wow.
So um, at the point it was tough. I remember one time my dad told me, go and get a job, and it was so it was so harsh. I was like, listen, I know this thing will work. I know
Exactly.
deep down within me this thing will work. I saved a little money
Mm-hmm.
from sales, and I rented a small room in Accra.
Mm-hmm.
I partitioned the room and I used one. So that was where you came.
Ah, okay. That's why I came. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. So I partitioned the room. One part of it was the workspace,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working and living in the same place. So
Mm.
because I lived in Tema, I mentioned that
Yes.
I grew up in Tema.
Yeah.
So I was living in Tema. So Monday morning I come to work. Um, I come to work and I go back home on Saturday evenings. So I
Okay.
spend the night, and the next morning, like when I have to sleep, I had a small mattress, and sometimes there were times that people come and I tell them, and they were like, "Ah, you have a whole bed and a whole room back in Tema. Like, why would you be doing this?" And I'm like, no, I just know deep down within me that it's just but for a few years. Let me just pay this
Yes.
sacrifice, and I know that when I sacrifice these years, this thing is gonna work.
Mm.
Um, I just lay on my mattress. The next morning, I roll it, put it somewhere, and it's a business environment. We do
Mm.
business, and I was doing that for 6 days in a week. Sundays, I go home to rest, and then I come back. I did this for 3 years
Wow.
until the business was stable.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is I mean, this is exactly, let's say, the excitement I get talking to people like you, because I remember when I visited you. I mean, that small
Mhm.
space you had, and a part of it was your office and makeshift workshop and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, can you share with the viewers, especially those who want to get into entrepreneurship, what it takes to really start small and make those sacrifices? I mean, like you rightly said, I mean, you had a home in Tema, but you told
Mhm.
yourself that I'm going to live at my workshop, and still build this company. For those of the
Yeah.
viewers watching who, I mean, have seen your work and are really motivated by you, can you share with us? I mean, what was the driving force? Like, I mean, you've mentioned a few, but what really would make a young man just, be rent a small place, partition it, live and work in the same space for 3 good years? What was really the driving force, if you can share with us?
Yeah. So I would say that hello.
Yes, can you hear me still?
Yeah. Yeah. I can hear you.
Ah, okay,
So I would
yes, now I can
say
hear you.
I I would say that it is it is one, the vision that I have, and then two, my personality.
Mm, mm,
So the the vision that I had was make sure that this works and ensure
mm-hmm,
that you are putting out products that will be able to compete on a global market. They
mm-hmm,
shouldn't there shouldn't be, I mean, we started small. I remember, you know, s- sometimes it's like every year, even when I see product that we produced the previous year, I'm like, this is so, I just can't stand it. I feel like it's so low. But people actually love it. And the whole thing is I ensure that the next thing that I do is better than the one that I did
mm-hmm,
previously. So I my vision is ensure that when your product is placed next to let's say an Italian product, you wouldn't I just don't want people to be able to tell there is one thing that my mother always told me in Tree. She said that momon kabas momon kanaso emaninyeho. So
mm-hmm.
the literal meaning is let them say, but don't let it be true.
Okay.
So if people are saying that Ghanaian products or Ghana made products are not good, make sure that yours differ.
Mm,
And my temperament, I would say, is that I'm a type of person that when I set my mind to something, that's it. I don't need, unless God appears to me to tell
yeah.
me that this is not going to work. Like my self belief is 1,000%.
Mm, mm,
So once I believe in something, I don't back down.
mm,
You know, and I believe that as entrepreneurs, no matter how small you start, no matter how small, you just have to believe that it's going to work. It's not just doing anything, but you should have a vision, like something that you're working towards. My vision is to
mm.
ensure that my products meet up to global standards. That's my vision.
Yes.
That's what I'm, you know, um, like always working towards. So
Mm,
no matter how small you start, ensure that you are working towards something and believe in it, believe in what you're doing. You know, um, every business has challenges, but what makes you an entrepreneur is how you overcome it. You overcome the
mm,
challenges. You know,
mm,
um, trust me. Like there've been times we've lost everything. I remember when I set up the workshop the first year, I lost literally everything. No money. no workers, nothing, just me by
Wow.
myself. I was just in the workshop by myself. I was crying,
Wow.
and I like, I felt like, everything was gone. But I got up, and because I believed in what I was doing, I started again.
Wow.
So I mean, there are several times that we literally lost everything, but we never gave up, and we kept going. And also, I think the last thing that I would say is the team that you work with.
Mm.
Um, but when I started initially, I was starting with one guy. He is a graphic designer. He's called Siam Felix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, at a point, the guy was like, "This thing's not gonna work, Charlie. Count me out."
Wow.
So Siam backed out, and it was just me. So I remember even when I started my business, initially I registered it as a sole proprietorship. You know,
Mm.
I was like, you know what? If nobody believes in me, I believe in myself. I'll do it myself. You know, but one person that has been a tremendous help to me is my team, the people that I work with,
Wow. Wow.
and another person is my brother. You know,
Yes, Prince.
um,
I remember him
yeah,
so well.
Prince.
When I first met him,
Yeah,
I just
Prince.
knew that guy was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. He has been a tremendous help. He has been a
Wow.
tremendous help in the business because, I mean, Prince knows the beginning of the business. He knows everything, and even when Prince started working with me, Prince wasn't even 18. Prince
Wow.
was still in secondary school, and even
Wow.
in secondary school, Prince was selling the shoes in his school in
In the
Infantville.
school. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So I'd say the first thing is your vision.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is you have to be resilient as a person.
Mm.
You know, believe in your source, believe in your own source. And the third thing will be your team, the people
In
that
the
you work
team.
with.
Mm. Mm. I think so. So if you're watching us, we are talking with Daniel Odonkor. He's the CEO and as well as the creative director for Chaste Shoes Limited. If you've seen me wearing some of his products, his shoes, I mean, you know very well the quality. I think I used his shoes for my traditional marriage as well. And I recently, I think on my birthday as well, my wife got me two sets of shoes from Chaste. So I'm very much not just let's say standing afar and admiring Daniel's work, but I also buy and use his products. And he shared with us three key principles. And if you're someone who follows my YouTube channel, you would realize that I've shared these principles. The first one he mentioned is that during the trying times, hold on to the vision. Okay. He's talked really about the fact that if you have a vision and you set that vision and that vision is crystal clear, it will get you through the difficult times. He's also mentioned about the fact that you need to be resilient. And resilience means that you need to have some source, right? So it's either you believe in yourself, if you are someone who believes in a transcendent God, you believe that God exists and you believe in God, believe that He's that source, right? So you need to have that resilience, that is hinged on that source, right? And the last thing he's talked about is teamwork. I've always believed that having people who believe in the vision as a vision bearer would really kind of set you apart. It is the team that really makes the dream work.
Mhm.
It's popularly said that the
Yeah.
teamwork makes the dream work. And so these are the three principles that Daniel has shared with us. And I believe that if you're watching, you will glean a thing or two from his whole journey to becoming an entrepreneur. So Daniel, my perspective here would be that being on this entrepreneurship journey, having lost everything at one point, like you rightly said, that it was just you, just by yourself, trying to make
Yeah.
something work, and getting into the point where you had to just gather strength from within and still pursue the dream. At what
Yeah.
point, did you realize that this this thing is going to work? Was it like a major contract that came through or a major recognition? I know there's always that point where it hits you that this is it. It's going to work. At what point did you have that that yeah? Do you have that conviction?
Um, I I don't I don't think that there was one.
Hmm.
There wasn't. It's just my self belief
Hmm.
that is because I believe I'm a firm believer of the fact that what you envision you can attract it into your life.
Hmm.
So um, what I do daily is think about my business. I'm always thinking about how to make my business better, how to make my business survive, how to grow the business. You know, as for challenges, they are always, bound to come along the line, but
Hmm.
it's how you maneuver through them, you know, and you don't back down. Like I, I told myself this thing is for life. So if it's for life, someone will say for life is for life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no backing out or backing down. You have
No,
to.
no,
You
no,
have
no,
to.
no.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now, can you tell us? Let's get into a little bit into your company now. Just give me 1 minute. Let me check
Hmm.
the audio.
All right.
Okay, now. Okay, I'm back online now. Yeah. So my next set of questions,
Yeah.
we're gradually delving into the topic for today. But can you tell us where Chaste is at now? Right? At what stage are you now? How many people are working with you? What is the scope
Hmm.
and reach of your business? I know very well. I did some little bit of background search, and I realized that I think you also have some people who are selling in the Netherlands or so. So what is this the global scope as of now, and where is the
Okay.
company now based on your vision and your operations?
Okay. So at the moment we are a team of 8, me inclusive. When we started, we it was just 2, but now we are 8. Um, now the the business is growing. I believe that every day is an opportunity to grow the business.
Mm-hmm.
So every time we try as much as possible to look for loopholes to grow the business. Um, we we serve clients from all across. Um, we've got a website that before we got the website, um, I was selling through friends.
Mm-hmm.
So friends that probably were studying in certain countries,
Mm-hmm.
I bag shoes, I send it to them,
Mm-hmm.
and they sell for me. Uh, but over the last 2 years or even 3,
Mm-hmm.
um, we built a website. And even with the website, I built it myself. I
Wow.
I locked myself up in a room for like a month,
Wow. What
learned
is the
how to
website? Can you share with
develop
us
a
the
simple
website?
e-commerce wwebsite.
Can you share
Yeah,
with us the
yeah, it's www.chasteshoes.com.
mm-hmm.
So on there,
Shoes.com?
yeah, chasteshoes.com. So on there, um, we've merged it together with payment platform. It's just that sometimes you realize that in Ghana it's difficult to run a business online, to receive
Online,
payments
yeah.
online. So I mean, there's always a way. So we've been able to do that. So people can buy from the website. Um, we we shipped shoes to Australia,
Wow.
to the UK, to the US, to Canada, to all the parts of Europe, to other parts of Africa as well. Um, we've had people that have shown interest in partnering with us. One, I mean, I don't want to name names, but we've had people that So I think the business is growing daily. Um, we we're just enjoying the entrepreneurial journey, in the business.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And I know that
Yeah.
for the kind of work you do, it requires very unique set of skills. Okay, I mean, like you rightly said,
Yeah.
you've had so many years to hone the craft. So, what is your biggest, let's
Hmm.
say, challenge when it comes to getting people with the right skills to employ or to be part of the team? Because I know very well the kind of person you are. We're very meticulous. You're looking for, that
Yeah.
quality, right? So, what do
Hmm.
you look out for in a new candidate?
Yeah. Um, I think the the first thing will be attitude.
Mm,
That's that's the first thing that I look out for. The right attitude gets the right, work done. Um, at least, I mean, we've got people that we've trained, that we've
mhm,
employed, so it's all about the attitude. It's not, you don't necessarily, I mean, even though like having the basics, skill, like being creative or being
mhm,
a handy person, gives you an upper hand. Having the right attitude is, is the boss of it,
mm.
So we've had people come and work for us, and they come 1 week and you won't see them again, because they can't they they can't stand the terms under which we work, because
Mm,
we we expect a certain type of attitude. If you have to be at work at this time, and you're like, if you're not you're not serious, don't come.
I know what
Because
you
we are
mean.
serious around here. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the the biggest challenge has been attitude. And I mean, not to backlash, you know, any nationality or anyone, but I feel like a bunch of Ghanaians have really bad attitude when it comes to work.
Mm, mm,
So I don't know whether it's cultural. Um, I just don't know. So we've had people just come and go all the time, but we
mm.
we have some faithful guys that they are able to understand our work ethic and
Mm.
where we're heading. Um, yeah.
Wow, wow, and thanks that Daniel for sharing this with us. Now let's get a little bit into the global scope of the fashion industry in total. I know the likes of I mean Louis Vuitton and all those big brands are like multi-billion-dollar companies, and from where I sit, I strongly believe that the kind of a niche that Chaste Shoes is kind of getting yourself into, and the kind of quality and the kind of brand, let's say, equity that you have, I have no doubt that in a few years' time, we'll begin to see. Um, can you hear me, Daniel? I think your video has gone off. Okay, so as we wait for Daniel to reconnect, I think some internet issues If you're joining us, I'm still speaking with
Yeah,
Daniel Odonkor. He's the
yeah. I'm back on.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. So I think your video is still not back on, but I can hear you though. Yes, now it's back.
Yeah.
So Daniel, I was saying that looking at the kind of quality and brand equity that you have as a brand, I have no doubt that in a few years' time, we'll begin to see you on various global stage. Now, my question is, lots of the fashion trends that we see today have always been kind of influenced by the West. Okay. Okay, so I think Daniel is gone back off, but we'll wait for him till he comes back. So if you're watching, I'm speaking with the CEO and the creative director for Chaste Shoes Limited. He's done amazing work so far, having started right as a student entrepreneur on campus and building his global brand. As I believe strongly that his brand is very unique and yeah, in a few years' time, you just have to watch out for Chaste Shoes Limited. So Daniel is back, and we continue with the conversation. So Daniel, I was saying that given the kind of brand equity you've built and the kind of quality of your product, definitely the world is your playground. And now, as a non-fashion person, I'm not really into the details of fashion, and you know way better than I do. But from the literature that I'm reading and the observations that I'm having, lots of the fashion trends are mostly westernized or are mostly influenced by the West.
Yeah.
Recently, I realized that even our own, let's say, indigenous Ghana Must Go has been picked up by a global brand and has kind of packaged it in a different way, right? And people are buying it for thousands of dollars. The question I have is, from where you sit as someone who's worked in this industry, right? How can we position, how can Africa position itself to play in this field of setting global trends, right? What can we do as a continent, as a people, to rather set the pace for these global fashion trends?
Yeah. I believe that. Sorry, I'm trying to power my phone off.
No problem. Let's
Yeah,
take your
I
time. No
believe.
problem.
I believe that. I believe that. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe. I believe that. We as Africans have our own culture that we must accept and promote.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I've had an opportunity to travel outside Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
particularly the West. Um, I've seen a few things, not everything, but I feel like the West is saturated. It's saturated in terms of what they have because they started producing their own stuff way before us,
Yes.
and they they kept they've kept improving it. So we as Africans must appreciate what we have
Mm-hmm.
and ensure that we promote what we have. Now, when you look at things like the Ahinima,
Mm-hmm.
for example,
Mm-hmm.
the Ahinima was developed or designed by, I believe, the Ashantis, because
Mm-hmm.
that is where it's predominantly worn.
Yeah.
But it wasn't up until recently when I saw on, I don't want to mention the brand,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
a big European brand
Mm-hmm.
selling the same product
Wow.
for thousands of euros. Now,
Crazy.
ask yourself how many Ghanaians wear or even own a pair of Ahinema,
Mm.
or how many Ghanaians even have even you know um you know purchased what we produce here,
Mm.
even our own cloth. When you realize that even in the olden days they used to just I don't know, of front man. How do I say it?
Yeah,
You
just
know,
yeah.
and that is our culture. That is what we
Yeah.
have as a people. So we have to accept what we have and promote it and push it out there. Trust me, the West is saturated, and if we keep copying what the West is doing, we are definitely going to lose our culture and are going to lose our heritage. You know, I mean, this goes far beyond fashion. Goes, you know, I mean, even our education, it goes far beyond fashion. But in terms of leading fashion trends, I believe that if we as Africans are patronizing our own products, we'll be able to empower the people that are into such businesses. And I mean, like even in Ghana, like how many people like have attended, let's say, fashion shows, for example. I mean, like just to support the people that I have never participated in one, you know, but I've seen one before, and people are doing stuff here. They need to be promoted. If we are promoting ourselves, we can definitely easily compete with the West. We can easily compete with what's going on in Italy or at the high streets of London or Paris. So we have to appreciate what we have and promote what we have or what we produce here. Set our own trends. The fact that some people are wearing, you know, tuxedo in a certain type of way doesn't mean we also have to do it. We have to, be patriotic and do, as we, what will project us as people, not. And I'm just trying to choose my words careful so I don't
Yes, I
I
know.
don't step on someone's toes. Yeah, but
I
yeah.
understand.
So
Yeah.
we have to support ourselves and be patriotic. Initially when we started as a business, people were not patronizing us because they
Wow.
had a prejudiced mindset about made in Ghana products. They felt the quality wasn't good. Um, they don't last and stuff like that. Actually, sorry, my I started the business off like that. That sequence where I was always wearing plain soles when I was in uni,
Okay.
and the plain soles will wear out every semester. I have to get a new one. I'm like why can't we produce our own thing? You know, uh, and I'm good with design.
I think you are breaking up. If you can still hear me. Okay, you're back now. Yeah. Can you still hear me?
Hello?
Yeah. Okay, now I can hear you.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, someone was trying to call me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So since I am good with design, I decided to design my own thing, go online, look at how or watch videos of how shoes are made.
Wow.
And you get someone that has the basic skills, coach the person, teach them, tell them to do this, do that, and then we made our first pair of shoe. So um we have to patronize what we have or what we produce here in Africa. Africa has great potential. I'm not going to lie. when you look at so much is going on. Like I feel like if at the moment you are not investing in Africa or you are not getting acquainted with Africa at the minute, you're missing out
Yes.
because so much is going on, so much so many opportunities, too many, in fact, too
Yeah.
many opportunities. I mean, it's not only in fashion, like all across. So I feel like all the other continents are saturated. Africa is a next big thing. It is the big thing now. So
Exactly.
if you're not looking at Africa, you better think twice.
Mm. Mm. Thanks, Daniel. And so, in the scope of global competitiveness, what
Yeah.
is your vision for setting the global agenda for Chaste? So we've talked about, you just mentioned about, in order for us to be competitive, we need to bring our unique cultural identity
Mm-hmm.
to the table. Now,
Yeah.
how is Chaste positioning itself, or you being the leader, how are you positioning the brand to address
Yeah.
what you just talked about? So, are you, let's say,
Yeah.
looking at the next, frontier as far as the global platforms are concerned? I mean, do you have plans to, like you said, showcase your work at a Louis Vuitton
Yeah.
showcase somewhere in Paris, or like what really is
Yeah.
the next global
Yeah.
strategy that you have for Chaste Shoes?
Yeah. So what we as a company is doing is to open up the business. Open up the business in terms of, you know, trying to seek investments, because I mean
Mm-hmm.
business is numbers, you know. So we are doing our homework, ensuring that we have good products that can compete on the global market, and opening up the business for more investments, you know. So we haven't had any major investment at the moment, but what
Can you still hear me? Okay, so I
sorry,
think,
sorry, sorry.
yeah,
I
yeah, now I can hear
I
you.
think a customer is trying to reach me. Yeah.
Okay.
So we are doing our homework and ensuring that we have globally competitive products,
Products, yeah.
and opening up the business for investments, because
Mm.
business is all about numbers. So if we have, let's say, 500,000 products,
Mm-hmm.
we can definitely, you know, hit our chest with our fist and say we can, based on, you know, the research that we do, we can go and
Mm-hmm.
open a store in in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
or in, because if our products can compete with products in the UK, why can't we go and sell there?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
we can't. You know, so that is what as a business we are doing. We are very young. We are only about 5 years old. So
Mm.
we
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
working really hard and
Yeah.
ensuring that be, by our seventh year we, we should we should be rubbing shoulders with, you know, global brands.
Yeah.
That is our aim, and we are not backing down.
Yeah. 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 I think it's more than doable. So I'm going to read some of the comments
Yeah.
and questions that people have sent through. So I think the first comments we got from Edwina. So Edwina Anand, thanks for your comment. So she says, Edwina says, great convo. If you can see on the screen, yeah,
Yeah.
she's kind of enjoying the conversation. She initially said Accra is a whole different level. I think this was in relation to when you mentioned
Yeah.
when you mentioned about coming to Accra. There's another question. So this is from my wife. She says, great convo, guys. Daniel, I love your products. She's actually the one
Oh,
that,
thank you.
yeah, she's the one that got me, the products on my birthday. She surprised me.
Yeah, my questions.
She's saying that my question is, do you plan on doing women's shoes? That's another interesting take.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, at the minute, we we do produce for women, but
Oh,
is
really?
is
I didn't know.
yeah, we do produce for women. It's just that the women shoes, the female shoes are a bit complex, because women have so many varieties compared to men.
Okay.
So for now, we've just focused on one type. We are producing flat shoes for women.
Okay.
Soon, when we are able to open up a little bit, yeah, but the long-term goal is to serve everyone. So be it
Okay.
women, be it men, kids.
Kids, exactly.
We even have a bespoke, we even have a bespoke, services that we render to people that have it, you know, excuse me, for lack of a better word, I'll say issues with their foot. So maybe if one foot is bigger than the other,
Okay.
we
Okay.
try to
So those
serve
customized.
such people as well. So the whole agenda is to serve everyone. But for
Okay.
now, for women, we are focusing on flats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flats. Okay. So it means that if you're watching this, please do ensure that you place your orders for if you have requests for flat shoes for women. Daniel and Chaste would be able to serve you.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. The next question also from my wife. She says, "Why Chaste? Why the name Chaste?"
Okay, so I know I get this question a lot, but the name Chaste means something distinct, something wholesome. So we ensure that our designs and our products are distinctive. If you see a Chaste product, you look at it twice. You
Yeah.
wouldn't see, and you definitely look at it twice. That is the whole aim, is to get people to engage more shoe contacts than eye contacts.
Oh wow, I like that. I like that. Thanks for that. And the next comment, I have this comment from Smith, Smith Jr. He's also been on this show. He says, "Daniel, keep up the push. You should play small posts sometime."
I actually grew up with him. We grew up playing, gutter to gutter together. Yeah.
Oh, really? So, okay. Small world.
Yeah.
I also had a conversation with him some weeks back. Yeah. So it's a small world. Oh, I didn't know you two knew each other. Okay. So I think that was the last comment or question from our viewers. So if you're watching this, we're talking with Daniel. If you want to visit the website, they have a very functioning e-commerce website as well at www.chasteshoes.com. It's on the screen. You can visit the website and place your order. Let's support local entrepreneurs who have the product, who have the product, and they also have the quality that are in Ghana and are producing quality products. Let's support our very own entrepreneurs. Let's buy their products. Let's buy into what they're doing, their vision, and let's support the mission that they are on. I think it's really important that we do this for these local entrepreneurs. So I've been having a conversation with Daniel Odonkor. He's the CEO and the creative director for Chaste Shoes Ltd. And as you are very much aware, he's shared a few principles. He's told us how he grew up, how he won the Student Entrepreneurship Award during his days on KNUST campus, and how he's been able to move from construction management profession into shoemaking profession. It takes a lot of resilience. It takes a lot of sticking to the vision. He shared these three principles with us: that stick to the vision, have that resilience to make it work, and build a team that believes and supports the vision. These are very critical and important principles that he shared with us. I think, no, I can't see you, but I can hear you. It's been a very exciting time. So Daniel, I'm not sure if your video is still working, but What would be your last words for our viewers? What would be your last words for our viewers? If you have your final words to share with the viewers, those who are watching live and those who would watch later on, what would be your last words?
Yeah. Okay.
I think your video is still
Yeah,
not on.
I
So
would say that
is your video
uh-oh.
working, or
Yeah,
seems that okay? So would get Daniel back online uh, to just give us his final words, and then we can wrap up to today's episode of People Who Inspire. So I'm just waiting for Daniel to dial back in, and then we can just wrap up. So I'm adding him back to the stream, and then yes, so yeah, Daniel is back. So Daniel, yes, you were saying before your last word, I think there's one more comment I'd like to share on the screen, if you can still hear me. So this is from Chelsea. Chelsea Addison says, "Great job, keep making us proud. God's got you." So this is from Chelsea Addison, as by way of a comment. So yes, Daniel, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Daniel? I think you're okay. So let's just get him back onto the screen, and then yes, can
hello?
you hear me? The video is still not back on, but
Hyper.
yeah, for some reason your video is off. But I just maybe if you have your final words, you can give your final words to those who tuned in today. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, so what would be your final words for those who tuned in? This is from Chelsea. Chelsea says, "Keep up the good work." Yeah. So
Thank you, Chelsea. Um so for my final words, I'd say that I mean if you're an entrepreneur and
I think your network is breaking up,
you're
so I can barely hear you.
working towards a goal,
Daniel, I think your network is now quite unstable, so I'm unable to hear you at this
uh-oh.
point.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yes, your
Yeah.
final words. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're an entrepreneur and you are working towards something, just make sure you stick to it. And if you are wanting to become an entrepreneur, I'd say just do it. Because if 5 years down the line, you wouldn't want to be in a position where when you think about an idea, about 1,000 people have also thought about the same thing.
Yeah.
So if you want to become something, just do it. Don't wait for someone to do it. If you want to do something, just do it. The last thing that I would say is um, Chase is a good name. You can find us on social media, and also you can purchase from our website. On our social media is at Chase Shoes. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on our website is www.chasteshoes.com. Wherever you are in the world, you can buy, and we do worldwide delivery. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much Daniel, and I really appreciate your time. I know I've taken one whole hour of your time from work, and I really appreciate this. And thank you
That's
so
fine.
much for
That's fine.
sharing your life with us, sharing the vision you have for Chaste with
Thank you
us,
so much.
and yeah,
Thank you
sharing
for
your
having
thoughts
me
with
as
us.
well.
So yeah, I wish you a very great weekend, and
Thank
enjoy
you.
the rest of your day as well. And if you watched us, thank
All
you
right,
for
you too.
staying with us as well. Bye bye for
All right.
now.
All right. Bye.